enjoy the lunch and talk. Now we move on to the first session in the afternoon, which is adventure heritage. So the session 3 is focusing on the brand, which has the history of adventure spirit. And now we are discussing how they capitalize the design on their philosophy. We have 3 design directors from Subaru and Land Rover and Yamaha. Mamoru Ishii-san. He's the general manager of Subaru design, and he's also responsible for product design. And I think Subaru is one of the most established clear brand message, I think. He had worked for many successful products at Subaru, and he has developed the Subaru design philosophy very recently. And now he's leading the global team. And next is Massimo Frascella. The Frascella is a creative director, exterior design of Land Rover. He had worked at various companies such as Bertone, Lincoln, and Kia. And he joined the 2011 Land Rover. He had worked on various very successful products like a Discovery Spirit and New Discovery, but most recently, Maillard. It's a very nice car.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And last but not least, Akihiro Nagaya-san. He is the executive officer and the chief general manager of design of Yamaha Motor. And he joined Yamaha 2014. Before he joined Yamaha, he has been Toyota for many years, and he has assigned a couple of very senior positions, such as Lexus brand head, and also he has been the general manager for whole Toyota design. And now he is very actively invigorating the Yamaha brand, and he is also the musician, right? Okay, so, and the moderator is Chris Maillard. He is the editor of Car Design News. So Chris, hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Hiro. First, I'd like to welcome Mamoru Ishii from Subaru to start the session on adventure heritage.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with Subaru. My name is Ishii. Thank you very much for this opportunity of speaking to you. Adventure heritage is the theme under which I'm going to speak to you. We are working on design strategy that we are working on, so I'd like to reflect upon that. I would like to talk about and reflect upon the history of Subaru. Back in 1917, we go back to that one. The Nakajima aircraft maker was established in 1917. We go back to that period. The top technology of the world class, that particular engine was also continuing onto the current engine. So the original point of Subaru lies in the engineers of aircraft. And then we follow this heritage, and then has developed into Fuji Juko or Subaru. And from it's been 100 years in 2017, we have changed our company name to its brand name of Subaru to start to make a new start. The aerospace and the automobile are the two business units. 1 million units are being sold by a company, but it's a small size of the company. However, operating profit have been going up. And operating profit ratio is 12.4%. Last year it reached to 17%. And so this is, I think, the benefit of a small size company. In various regions, beyond various generations, we were able to grow a brand loved by many different people of many different generations. And our customers were very much a fan for Subaru is a life active layer. Thanks to them, we were able to grow our brands. According to surveys, 20% of the license holders is a life active generation. They are very intellectual and they enjoy life very much. So to such a customer group, we give a enjoyment and peace of mind to the customers to make a lifestyle of the customers better. So we are going to provide such a value. In order to embody such values, long life design and lifestyle designs are the focus areas when we think about design. In order to realize all those designs, there are three meanings to the design. One is to pursuing a form and function. And then from aircraft research days, we inherit the spirit. And so we focus upon spirit as well. Basically, what we are aiming at remains the same since its inception. We started from Subaru 360. The crossover value was pursued at the time. Not just limited to one value, but antithetical values can be realized at different dimensions. Now, I go back to 1958 at this stage. Subaru's first hit product is this one. All the Japanese people can easily remember that Subaru 360. That has changed the Japanese lifestyle with a mind spirit of making the lifestyles of the Japanese better, so based on the challenging spirit. So the human-centered, and so that is basically a similar concept of the aircraft designing. And so all these values were incorporated into this design and technology. At the time, developers thought that this is a car for the people. And so in line with the times in which they were living, and it should be loved by the majority of people in Japan. In order to realize that concept, Momose Shinroku, who is a developer, and Tadakita Suro, designer, worked on this particular model. And K specifications, and that should accommodate 4 family members. Therefore, the lightweight vehicle was very important. So they were very much particular about even reducing 1 gram. So one steering is 1 gram. Momose Shinroku shaped clay to make that model. So Subaru 36 was born that way. That changed the value of the customers at the time. 12 years. For 12 years it was produced, and it is still it continued to be loved still. Subaru 36, including design and engineering, that is the original point of Subaru. Subaru and the all-wheel drive are also inseparable factors. This is also responding to the voice of the customers as well, to align with the customer's lifestyle. In the 1960s, in the snowy region, this is what happened. Four-wheel drive, which was rather a special off-road, did exist at the time. However, in Tohoku region, the power companies asked for a passenger car with a four-wheel drive. So there was such a request. So Subaru 1000 was based to generate AWT, which is for passenger car, to respond to the voice of the customer, to seek a better lifestyle for the customers. AWD, all-wheel drive, but they not just that, but they focus upon the comfort and superior engineering. So those are the know-how that became a heritage that would be led to the following models. Know-how and experience that was acquired at this stage led to the next action, which is crossover category. Subaru spearhead other companies, so this is the frontier for Subaru that was accepted by a large number of customers, because 1995 in the USA, the harbinger of a crossover which is Outback was produced. Crossover design that Subaru thinks of is whether it's a city or outdoor, it can be used fully and it looks cool. If we just pursue the functionality, that is easy. But if it doesn't fit the city life, then you don't want to use it in a daily life. But if you ignore functionality, and if it's city type, and then it cannot be used off-road, and therefore the body style and high quality texture were used, and so the underside and upper body were well combined, and the crossover style from the original period found expression in this shape. So in the city or in the field, the customer can smile over this one, and crossover is a proposal to realize all these values. Further, in the crossover, to accentuate the fun in the field was also brought about, which is SUV of Subaru. 2007, the third Horror was its harbinger. Thus, the new concept was best balance for active life. In this particular category, the high reliability and the diversified fun were aimed at. And so it shifted to utility in various scenes. So SUV that fits the suit style. For example, the underside and the fenders are very strong. The upper side has good quality. It is very stylish and urban-like. Interior has also good functionality, color, and other design factors are incorporated. In 2014, Dynamic Solid design philosophy was compiled. Based on this, the crossover has evolved and SUV has evolved. With this, the design has very much changed. Dynamic Solid means the car itself should represent enjoyment and peace of mind. That is none other than this philosophy: stance, volume, and surface. Each of these factors have meaning to each of these constituent elements. And so linear dynamism that expresses power and solidness are incorporated into this shape. Visible 2, Visible GT, Visible Future were introduced. In Visible 2, the next generation crossover SUV was the concept, and Dynamic and Solid was realized. It's a high body, a high robust body was, and it has a fender that is over bloated that gives some internal pressure, and it gives also excitement as well for reliability as well. In 2015, in Visible Future, Subaru's active lifestyle was designed into. When you use a Subaru, you can realize various lifestyle scenes, and that is the concept. Dynamic and solid surface, and hard chunk is realized, and so that you feel like going out for driving, and also reliability in this type of vehicle. In 2017, Visible SUV concept was announced. This is the category that all the family members can be active. It's a great stance that gives peace of mind in any situation. It can protect the family members. It's a robust and strong SUV. Like this Invisible series, we study the future designs, and for mass production's sake, we're currently conducting activities. Further, after 2020, we are going to focus upon next generation philosophy. The customers should enjoy more dynamic feelings in the vehicle. When you take a look at it, and then you feel like getting in and start driving. The peace of mind and excitement, to realize such emotional values, and then in Dynamic Solid, we need a stance, a volume, and surface. And based on these effect was generated in next generation Solid. Various elements are affecting emotional value, and they interact among each other. Utilizing this network, we are going to create more abundant emotional value. dynamic solid will be realized, incorporating various diversified elements like this. We are incorporating various design studies as well. We are also collaborating with the aerospace industry companies as well. When you look at the aircraft, it looks beautiful, it looks very fast, it's very exciting. There are many people who feel that way. When you feel that way, why do you feel that is very beautiful? Why do they feel that is very fast? There are some common elements in nature from that. So we are trying to capture the essence of emotional values, and we are continuing with the research. For reflection, we have a design factor to increase the emotional value in this reflection. When the car and people move, we are aiming at the effect that is greater than we perceive. And in Subaru, we are making the cars that can be used actively, not just sitting still. When the car is being used, when it is running, it should look very much appealing and attractive. We pay attention to that. The vehicle is a tool of self-expression. So the driver and the user should be able to feel that it is a beautiful vehicle in which he or she is driving. So the reflection in still condition and the reflection in a dynamic situation need to be designed as well. Once there's such a good reflection, it will give a dynamism. And so what kind of reflection will be appropriate is being studied. Car reflection is not the only thing that is important for the vehicle. Even when the vehicle is still, you're attracted to that vehicle. When you see the vehicle running and then you're still attracted to that, that is the next generation dynamic and solid. Subaru is going to performance concept for dynamic and solid. So dynamic solid will be carried on to the next stage. Thank you very much for your attention. So please look forward to our Subaru design in the future.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And now to continue, Massimo Frascella from Land Rover.
Hello, everyone. My name is Massimo Frascella. I'm the creative director for exterior design at Land Rover. And I'm here today to talk to you briefly about me to begin, and then about our brand. So I'm assuming this is the right clicker. Okay, it is now. All right, so that's kind of the content of what we'll be talking today. Well, let's start. I come from a really beautiful place in Italy, and I couldn't be any more fortunate, to be honest. It's on the coast in Tuscany, and I was really not aware of car design until I was very late, 17. It all happens by accident when my dad started looking for a new car and shopping around, getting brochures from dealers. I started sketching cars, and it was only because people were encouraging me to show these sketches to a school that I actually started car design. My dad actually ended up buying a Nissan Primera, the first generation, in 1989, which was a fantastic car at the time. So, yeah, growing up in Versilia and then moved to Turin. Turin, that's the first contact with the automotive world, the industry, the design, great teachers, of course. From the school, first job was in Bertone, which I consider the school. After the school, this is where I really learned a lot. The traditional way, which is probably something that is missing today to some of the younger designers. And I was, again, fortunate enough to be working on one of the concept cars when I was there in 1999, the Bertone Bella. After this experience, I got in contact with Ford. I moved to England. I joined the Ford Motor Company through the Lincoln Mercury team with Jerry McGovern. That's where I met Jerry, and then I moved to California right after. California was a great place to be, of course. It was very exciting. I had a chance to work on some really exciting projects for Lincoln Mercury, which unfortunately never really made it to the production stage. After that, came back to London, having a bit of a package going back and forth between the UK and California. And then I moved back to California again, this time with Kia. Kia was absolutely a great experience, a great opportunity for me, for the brand as well, because it was a relatively new brand that was building the image. In this company, I have been contributing personally to several models that have been produced. The first one was the Kia Sorento. I'm going to go through this quite quickly. The Kia Q concept car in 2007 that actually led to the Kia Sportage later on. These are some of the images during the design development. And then the Kia Ray was a concept car, C-segment vehicle, electric, 2010 in Chicago. The Kia Rio, and then ultimately the second generation Kia Soul. And you can see a Japanese model is by far my favorite modeler. I actually did all those cars with him. I actually worked on all those cars with him, Nobu. After that, well, the last one was the Kia Truckster, which was a lot of fun based on the Kia Soul. After that, the Land Rover chapter. So this is an interesting slide. This is Mr. McGovern on the left, myself on the right, looking each other in the eyes. It's probably trying to communicate the vision on the brand. I'm trying to communicate back as well my philosophy. At that point, Land Rover needed a restructuring within design because it started this journey of transformation. And it was very challenging because the critical point with Land Rover is this incredible heritage and the story, all the models that have made history in car, in the car design and the car automotive industry in general. But it's about recognizing that past and moving forward, always looking forward. I think it's a very challenging brand because of that, and because you can't just do anything. It has to be very, very distinctive. So this is where it started at Land Rover. It started from the wild. That's the roots, you know, with the Land Rover 1 Defender, and has moved to the urban jungle, as we call it. We added relevance to the brand and sophistication. We actually elevated Land Rover to a luxury status. Now, I mean, you've seen Land Rovers, Range Rovers driven by celebrities, prime minister, high achiever, and world leaders. So we are on a journey of transformation. That is a key message. We are in the process of redesigning a whole new generation of vehicles that increase and that will have more universal appeal. And we've been making this transition over the past few years. Our brand is structured in the following way. This is a key message that needs to be understood. It will be more clear when Defender is out, but basically Land Rover is the master brand. Within this brand, we have three families of vehicles, Range Rover, Discovery, and Defender. I'm really conscientious on the time. Design leadership and engineering integrity are at the top of each family, so those are prerequisites. And then we dial up the refinement for Range Rover, the versatility for Discovery, and the durability for Defender. Range Rover Evoque, a pivotal moment in the history of Range Rover. It brings design at the core. Stop thinking of design as an icing on the cake. It's really design gains respect because design can decide the future of a company. These are the four key elements in our design strategy: modernity, relevance, sustainability, and desirability. And this is the shift that we've been having in our company. Future challenges: Clearly, there are lots of challenges, but what we want to do is to use those technologies and those challenges to our advantage. We don't want those challenges to really restrict us and dictate us what to do. Defender, let's get the elephant out of the room, because I know there's a lot of expectations on Defender. The world of dual purpose. This is the history of Defender. It's a car like no other. We stopped selling Defender. It's recognized around the world. It's so easy to draw. The new Defender is coming very soon, and it's probably the most anticipated vehicle in the world. Discovery, world of leisure, versatility, family-oriented, inclusive. It's a lifestyle vehicle. We started this family of Discovery with the Discovery Sport, which is the best-selling Land Rover right now. A little bit of the design process. I want to show you. Right, that was Discovery Sport, and then we launched the new Discovery. Again, strong heritage in Discovery, created the leisure segment SUV. The evolution through the four generation told us that customers were looking for something more premium. So these are some initial sketches of the next generation, or the current generation Discovery. What we wanted to do is really have a radical departure.
Customers love the Discovery, but now is the time for it to be replaced, and our approach has been very radical.
The next generation Discovery will deliver everything that you would expect from a Discovery today. So the fact that it looks so, that I say, so sexy, it doesn't mean that it has lost some of the functionality. In fact, it's even more capable than previous generation Discovery.
We've created a vehicle that is more universally desirable, more compelling, more design literate, beautifully proportioned, it's very modern, it's very sporting, it's very desirable.
The essence of Discovery is that interior, exterior, material quality all coming together to create that perfect environment.
Our team's role is essentially to be the glue between the interior and the exterior.
I have 3 children, so I've had first-hand feedback from them about seat comfort through the cabin.
It's very much family-oriented. It really focuses on versatility. This vehicle needs to sit equally as comfortably in the urban environment as it does out there in the great wilds.
It's for the whole family. It has 3 rows of seats. It's for children, muddy boots, muddy dogs. All the materials are premium but not precious, so they will all withstand all of the abuse that your family, dogs, and children can throw at them.
We've really honed in almost obsessively to look for opportunities that we could incorporate clever stowage ideas. The heater controls, they fold down, and we discovered a little space. So it's all those little features through the cabin that I think really enhance the Discovery.
The one-piece tailgate is a great piece of design that delivers all the functionality of the split tailgate, a much bigger opening, more usability, and a much better quality in the end.
When people see the new Discovery, they'll go, wow, because it is a jaw-dropping design.
So yeah, that's the transition throughout all the generation. There is another video that is playing now. I think it's quite emotional, I think.
Ingenuity is everything. And everything is here for a reason. Just as no two oceans are the same. Every journey you embark on is unique. A voyage in itself. To where everything has a purpose. To create something this ingenious takes generations of expertise. And a giant leap of the imagination. It's about passion. It's about human endeavor. The desire to go further. Beyond the horizon. The all-new Land Rover Discovery.
So that sets the tone for the whole family of Discovery. Range Rover sits in that world of luxury and sophistication. With the SV, we're taking a bespoke to a different level. Range Rover Velar is the latest introduction in the Range Rover family. Incredibly successful, is incredibly well received. We introduced it at the Design Museum because we feel that that's where it should belong. This is a video that we've done, it's a short video that we've done in design 4 years ago to generate interest within the business. As you can see, the car is virtually identical. So Range Rover Velar, the name comes from one of the early prototypes in 1968 when Range Rover was testing. Beautiful proportion, really elegant, unmistakably a Range Rover. I particularly love this shot where it really shows the plan view and the volume that is pulled towards the back. Really great stance, great road presence. It's very glamorous, it's very modern, very contemporary. We use this reductionism approach in this design where everything kind of disappears. It's very minimalistic. Even the door handles, they only come out when they're needed. Same philosophy applies to the interior, a very calm sanctuary. Again, it shows like that, and then it comes on when you need it, when it's needed. Another very important point in the interior is the non-leather alternative. I'm actually very proud that my company is looking at this, because this is a game changer, and I really hope that there will be a lot of other OEMs following. This is a irreversible process. The world has changed already, and we need to be able to give the option, the offer, even in the luxury segment, to a leather alternative. We're talking about CO2, if we talk about farming animals and all the rest of it. There's a lot of people, including myself, that are not keen on leather, so it's about giving the option to these customers. So that's how the seat looks. It's incredibly comfortable. That's the whole family of Range Rovers. That's me. Look maybe a little bit miserable, but probably was a long day of work. Just a few points. Simplicity and purity, that is the real challenge. It gives you a timeless quality. Today it feels like there is an obsessive search for something that just looks different. This sets us apart. We just want to reach that timeless quality. It's a bit like a parallel in music, a catchy FM song that is very popular at the moment, but you get bored of it quite easily, versus a classic song that lasts for a long time. It's a special feeling, credible reward by making other people dream. And design is not just pure styling. And luxury product will bring emotional experience to future customers. The last few points these are my key messages. Designers think differently. We need to harness the passion and the design of our people, understand our heritage, but always, always look forward. Don't live in the past. And use a design as a catalyst for change, because design can change things. And the last thing is a quote from Leonardo da Vinci, clearly: simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. So, sorry I ran a little late, but thank you.
Thank you. That was Massimo, and extra value for money from Land Rover there. And now from a company that you may not necessarily associate with cars, but have done a surprising amount involved with it. Nagaya Akihiro, or Dezi, from Yamaha Motor.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I was kind of asked from administration office to speak in Japanese because the main your audience is Japanese. So 失礼して日本語でいきます。
So allow me to speak in Japanese.
Video.
Just too kind, and I was too young to know. That's all that really matters. I was a fool. Baby, we built this house on memories. Take my picture now, shake it till you see it. And when your fantasies become your legacy, promise me a place in your house of memories.
That's a Yamaha heritage. But first of all, as was introduced earlier, but I'd like you to take a look at my bio. I did a lot of things. Halfway through, I was with Lexus branding. 2005, global branding was a relaunch. I was involved with that. This is my hobby. And there are some people that you are familiar with at the center. That is the organizer. And so without his permission, I used it. So music event is something that I'm quite often invited to. Particularly car design people love music. So I'm very much indebted to Mr. Shiro Nakamura. As an icebreaker, my another hobby is scuba diving. I go to the southern islands and I enjoy that very much. So particularly, I get to know more about emerging countries. This is about Yamaha. Yamaha is the person's name. As shown in the video, Yamaha, what's unique about Yamaha is that it started with the musical instruments as a business, then led to automobile companies, which is one character. And this person was repairing organ, and then he made propellers, and then he developed an engine as well. Now, Yamaha brand, two Yamahas. One passion was shown earlier. There are two companies. As written below, we holders shares each other. We share two of these brands. The left-hand side is Yamaha Motor, and the right-hand side is Yamaha Corporation, music company. So we have our shareholdings. There are 130 group companies in 32 countries. It's a global company. And Yamaha Motor I'm talking about in here. So overall, 1.5 trillion yen in sales. There are only 10% of sales from Japan, and so 90% of sales are from overseas. So it's a global company. As you can see, there are 3 technologies which are basis, which covers 15 businesses. And 4-wheel or vehicles, automobiles will be coming into this view as well. 60 to 70% shares are held by these motorcycles. The handwriting sketch is very much emphasized. As you can see, so mechanics are drawn like this. Otherwise, we cannot build motorcycles, which is different from automobiles. Heritage. Adventure heritage is the focal topic. So I'm going to talk about off-road. This is YZ. It's a new model. There's a person's picture over here. This is one characteristic of our design. We always draw some person, as well as a peripheral products. The helicopter that is used for agriculture is at the center. In agriculture, we are involved in a lot of products, and there are many equipment, including outboard as well, a boat as well. As you can see, handwritten sketch is the basis for the ROV, off-road. The products we are making are things like this. For the sake of fun, this kind of vehicle can go to some rough road on the mountains and hills. So I'll show you a video one more time to show you some mechanics. as you can see, motorcycles, it is integrated with the person. That is important. So there's a characteristic in the movement. ROV is the next one. As you can see, this RVO as well, it is also integrated with a person and run in the field like this. That is heritage. This is the monozukuri of Yamaha. This was Tokyo Motor Show. It made a debut. It is very compact and smart, slim, and compact. Those are the important points that we give importance to. Adventure heritage in that, the light, and it is easy to easy for the driver to drive. So operability should increase, and how integral this vehicle with a person, that is the focus point, which is also the same as a musical instrument as well. So this is a show model that embodies Yamaha's value. The elementalism is one of the important points that attach importance to. What's different from automobiles is that each parts are like jewels. When they all aggregate them, then it will form one system. It creates one entire system. So that is different from automobiles. It started with the musical instruments, so audio positives are shown. MWC4 is going to be proposed. It has a different method of automobile designing. The one characteristic is that half the area of the regular car is used. And so operability, comfort, and dynamic fun and compactness. And weatherproof, which is about half of the more entire roof. And so it's a transportation proposal. I want you to see for yourself. It's a leaning structure. It leans. Motorcycle and vehicles. So this is somewhere in between motorcycles and automobiles. So it is a vehicle where you can manipulate on your own. So that's something we want to propose. Finally, after this heritage, we are going to allow a new model to make a debut. At 11:20 at the Yamaha booth, we're going to release it. It's a heritage. Adventure heritage, aggregation of heritage 1235. And so it will be aligned with what I have explained to you. So thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you very much. That was interesting and extraordinarily lively. A few questions for our panellists before I'm going to ask for some questions from the audience. Mamoru, to start with you. The 360 that you showed at the beginning of your presentation, the small people's car, with electric powertrains and hybrid powertrains becoming more common, could you see a smaller people's car coming back?
そうですね。
Well, in 360, it was really a small 4 meter and under, or 3 meter small volume within which 4 people were inside, and engine didn't have any place to go to. So you have to put it on underneath your knees, and from people they are packaged, and the engines were put at the rear end. These were rear engines. So such a small package during those times was very necessary. Motorization only just started, and therefore smaller cars were necessary, being small and cheap, so that people will purchase easily was very important. Nowadays, the interior space, including the comfortability, is very important. So it doesn't have to be small, but the engines become electric batteries, etc. Therefore, optimal package where the engine or powertrain changes is the era we will face. Therefore, it's not about size, but the most optimal shape of that time and the powertrain should get together. And that will be appearing in the next generation. Subaru also has to make that too.
That's Massimo, a similar question for you, I suppose. Looking at the old Defender against the new one, the size is extraordinarily different.
Defender?
Yes, or the original Land Rover series, I suppose, against the new Defender. Could you see your brand going into something smaller? And what would it look like?
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at a lot of options how to expand our families. So you definitely look at options going north, going bigger, and going smaller. Right now, there's really nothing set. I mean, there's a few things that are set, but Defender-wise, I think first we need to introduce our next generation Defender, and then we'll see how we want to expand on that. Range Rover, in a way, we've done already that with the Evoque going a bit smaller. That doesn't stop us going even smaller in the future. You never know. And Discovery right now is a family of 2, so eventually, I think you need at least 3 to make a family. So we'll expand on that family as well. And so there are opportunities to go even smaller.
Okay, thank you. And Dezi, to you, that urban concept you showed was fascinating. The leaning, half-sized vehicle. Again, it still has the Yamaha hallmark of many of the mechanical parts being exposed. How much influence do you have on the design and the look of those, or is it purely engineering?
Actually, we are kind of trying to change the procedure, to develop the products, That usually, when we design the kind of not only the automotive, but also there are maybe electricity. There's many design products. We start with the kind of package, engineering package, and we cover with the kind of nice surface. Then drawing the kind of sketch and applying the kind of surface onto it. But I really kind of the completely reorganize the kind of procedure. To design something, I think, the aspect from that type of thing is, I think this, we will work together, actually, Recently, we pretty much completed our new facility for design. We call it an innovation center because why we didn't name this design center? Because we really want to kind of make a more open innovation together, working together with the engineers, in the early stage of the design development. Because this is kind of tendency to start with the engineering package, then we are applying design onto it. But I really kind of completely change this kind of that rule. We want to start with this engineering to design a kind of nice package and nice mechanism, nice all things exposed in. Then complete this total posture. Everything gotta be beautiful. And everything gotta be well considered. Actually, to answer your question, we influence each other. Of course, we are kind of completing the product, with the togetherness.
Right. Thank you. And Mamoru, another question for you. Motorsport was obviously part of your heritage. How has that influenced the current generation of vehicles, if it has?
In Subaru, in 1999 or thereabouts, there was a rally that we participated in. WRC 3 wins were achieved, and it's not just rallies, but presently in Japan, GT300, and in Europe, Eurobrooklink race participation was made. In the category, we took a championship too. So our thought towards sports is that STI at this moment and WRX are the cars that we have at this moment. In a word, various things can be done. It can be on or off-road. It's a comprehensive winning and fighting car is what we would like to propose. Even if it's on or off-road, a very enjoyable driving sports model is what we would like to propose. And that, as slightly presented early on, is about the crossover heritage of challenging spirit that Subaru has. Out of that, motor sports is like a comprehensive match. You can enjoy on and off-road. Such a car is what we would like to have. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, at the Tokyo Motor Show, there's an unveiling of the performance concept, a car called performance concept. To that, our sports car concept will be slightly embedded, and we have already designed it as so. So I hope that from around 11:30 there will be a press conference. Please visit us, and we'll be able to unveil that model.
Very much. You heard it here first. I would like to see if anybody in the audience would like to ask a question. Has anybody got a question for any of our panelists? Anybody?
Hello, Maxine Morland from Car Design News. I just wanted to ask, all three brands who are represented on stage have got a very strong adventure heritage. Can that ever be a limiting factor as well as an advantage? Is there a downside to it from a design point of view?
Okay, shall I go first?
Massimo, do.
It is, yeah, it can be. It depends how you take it, right? So having a strong heritage helps you because you have a very defined DNA. Now, it's about identifying what are the principles of that DNA and move forward. So if you do that, the heritage doesn't become a heavy weight. It doesn't become a problem. It's always about recognizing where you come from, but also understanding the social environment where we're moving and understanding what is relevant modern days. I've worked for a company that didn't have a heritage, and that presented to me a lot of challenges. You think, well, you can do anything you want, so that's easy. Actually, it's not, because you got so much in front of you, you can pick and choose, and it's hard to define what's relevant. You don't have that problem with a brand like Land Rover, of course. That's kind of the opposite. I do say to the designers working in my team, Land Rover is possibly the most difficult brand to work for as a designer, because you got 3 icons. No other brands can have 3 icons like a Defender, Range Rover, and Defender. But that should be just the starting point, not the end point. So in a way, it can be restricting, but if you approach it the right way, I actually think it clearly makes things easier.
Dezi, have you got anything to add to that?
Yeah. I think the big difference, between us and some other car companies is we got kind of, too many different type of products, at the same time, versatility, even that I can introduce. That's why it's kind of hard to control the language, among the all the way through this our products. However, on the other hand, it's all exposure mechanism and also the lightweight, compact, slim, smart. We got the many kind of factors and kind of related to the functionality of the product and the performance. I think it's that type of, more like a philosophical or, the mechanical and engineering approaches. Maybe underneath the old products, That's why people can realize this at a glance as our models. It's a slimmer, smart, well finished and lighter, compact. I think there's many that type of keywords can, state our commonality, the coherent among the all products. I think that, and also even I really want to kind of slightly I want to kind of make it a more common language. So we want to create among our products because we are increasing the kind of category of our products. That's why if I don't say anything, it's going to be totally complete freeness. So it's going to be kind of big, too free word. So that's why I want to kind of make a language. A little bit more, but as you will see, after a couple of years.
Okay, thank you. Mamoru, did you have anything to say about that?
質問ありがとうございます。
Thank you for your question. As with regard to the heritage, the car manufacturers in the world are giving importance to the heritage. The purpose for that is to establish brand, their own brand. How it was born is very important. And if there are some hit products and then they want to revive them, that's what they're doing. What about building a brand? Brand means it's not something that we say, hey, this is a brand from day one. The customers need to highly appreciate that to establish brand. So heritage is very important in that sense. Each manufacturer's, that is each manufacturer's asset. And the customer buys the car manufacturer's vehicles understanding each of its heritage. So you cannot deny heritage totally to move forward. You cannot do that. So history, the Subaru gives importance to the past history. Our predecessors thought about design. So we are trying to understand that and how we can translate that into the contemporary society. And then what kind of, new proposal we can do to the customers. We are constantly thinking about that. If there are some fetters, for example, codes, once we decide some face using codes, sometimes it's very difficult to change it. Then what will be the timing for innovation? What will be the timing for evolution? That timing, I think, issue is a very challenging one. But we are not doing totally different things. In the process of evolution, we are going to attach importance to heritage. And I think that is also the role that designers who have to play.
And unfortunately, we are just about out of time on this session. So can I just tell you one thing before we thank our guests here? There's a form on your seats. Which we'd like you very much to fill in, if you wouldn't mind. And the people will be collecting them on the way out. So if you could fill that form in, that would be very useful. And thank you very much to our three speakers here. And we will be having a coffee break now, and after which there will be our final session.
Thank you.